We are on day 111 of the chronological Bible in a year. Take a breath and take a moment to celebrate that you have set this time aside to hear God's word. Let's begin in 2 Samuel chapter 3 at verse 6. Now it happened that while there was war between the house of Saul and the house of David, Abner was strengthening himself in the house of Saul. And Saul had a concubine whose name was Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah. And Ishbosheth said to Abner, "Why have you gone into my father's concubine?" Then Abner became very angry over Ishbosheth's question and said, "Am I a dog's head that belongs to Judah? Today I will show kindness to the house of Saul your father, to his brothers and to his friends, and have not let you fall into the hands of David. Yet today you call me to account for wrongdoing with that woman. May God do so to me, and more so, if, as the Lord has sworn to David, I did not accomplish this for him, to transfer the kingdom from the house of Saul, and to establish the throne of David over Israel and over Judah, from Dan even to Beersheba." And Ishbosheth could no longer say a word in response to Abner because he was afraid of him. Then Abner sent messengers to David at his place, saying, "Whose is the land? Make your covenant with me, and behold, my hand shall be with you to bring all Israel over you." And he said, "Good, I will make a covenant with you, only I require one thing of you, namely, that you shall not see my face unless you first bring Michal, Saul's daughter, when you come to see me." So David sent messengers to Ishbosheth, Saul's son, saying, "Give me my wife Michal, to whom I was betrothed for 100 foreskins of the Philistines." Ishbosheth sent men and had her taken from her husband, from Paltiel the son of Laish. And her husband went with her, weeping as he went, following her as far as Bahurim. Then Abner said to him, "Go, return." So he returned. Now Abner had a consultation with the elders of Israel, saying, "In times past you were seeking for David to be king over you. Now then, do it. For the Lord has spoken regarding David, saying, 'By the hand of my servant David, I will save my people Israel from the hand of the Philistines, and from the hands of all their enemies.'" Abner also spoke to Benjamin. And in addition, Abner went to speak to David in Hebron everything that seemed good to Israel and to the entire house of Benjamin. Then Abner and 20 men with him came to David at Hebron. And David held a feast for Abner and the men who were with him. Abner said to David, "Let me set out and go and gather all Israel to my lord the king, so that they may make a covenant with you, and that you may be king over all that your soul desires." So David let Abner go, and he went in peace. And behold, the servants of David and Joab came from a raid and brought a large amount of plunder with them. But Abner was not with David in Hebron, since he had let him go and had gone in peace. When Joab and all the army that was with him arrived, they informed Joab, saying, "Abner, the son of Ner, came to the king, and he has let him go on his way, and he has gone in peace." Then Joab came to the king and said, "What have you done? Behold, Abner came to you. Why then have you let him go, so that he is already gone? You know Abner, the son of Ner, that he came to gain your confidence, and to learn of your going out and coming in, and to find out everything that you're doing." Then Joab left David's presence. He sent messengers after Abner, and they brought him back from the well of Sirah. But David did not know about it. So when Abner returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the middle of the gate to speak with him privately, And there he struck him in the belly, so that he died on account of the blood of his brother Asahel. Afterward, when David heard about this, he said, I and my kingdom are innocent before the Lord forever of the blood of Abner the son of Ner. May it turn upon the head of Joab and on all his father's house. And may there not be eliminated from the house of Joab someone who suffers a discharge or has a leprosy, holds the spindle, or falls by the sword, or lacks bread. So Joab and his brother Abishai killed Abner because he had put their brother Asahel to death in the battle of Gibeon. Then David said to Joab and all the people who were with him, tear your clothes and put on sackcloth and mourn before Abner. And King David walked behind the bier, and they buried Abner in Hebron. And the king raised his voice and wept at the grave of Abner, and all the people wept. And the king sang a song of mourning for Abner, and he said, should Abner die as a fool dies? Your hands were not bound, nor your feet put in bronze shackles. As one falls before wicked, you have fallen. And all the people wept over him. Then all the people came to provide food for David in his distress while it was still day. But David vowed, saying, may God do so to me, and more so, if I taste any bread or anything else before the sun goes down. Now all the people took note of David's vow, and it pleased them, just as everything that the king did pleased all the people. So all the people in all Israel understood on that day that it had not been the desire of the king to put Abner the son of Ner to death. Then the king said to his servants, do you not know that a leader and a great man has fallen in Israel today? And I am weak today, though anointed king, and these men, the sons of Zeruiah, are too difficult for me. May the Lord repay the evildoer in proportion to his evil. Now when Ishbosheth, Saul's son, heard that Abner had died in Hebron, his courage failed, and all Israel was horrified. And Saul's son had 2 men who were commanders of troops. The name of one was Baanah, and the name of the other was Rechab, sons of Rimmon the Beerothite, of the sons of Benjamin. For Beeroth is also considered part of Benjamin. And the Beerothites fled to Gittaim, and after have lived there as strangers until this day. Now Jonathan, Saul's son, had a son who was disabled in both feet. He was 5 years old when the news of Saul and Jonathan came from Jezreel, and the nurse picked him up and fled. But it happened that in her hurry to flee, he fell and could no longer walk. And his name was Mephibosheth. So the sons of Rimmon, the Beerothite, Rechab and Baanah, departed and came to the house of Ishbosheth in the heat of the day, while he was taking his midday rest. And they came to the interior of the house as if to get wheat, and they struck him in the belly, and Rechab and his brother Baanah escaped. Now when they had come into the house, as he was lying on his bed in his bedroom, they struck him and killed him, and they beheaded him. And they took his head and traveled by way of the Arabah all night. Then they brought the head of Ishbosheth to David at Hebron, and said to the king, behold, the head of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, your enemy, who sought your life. So the Lord has given my lord the king vengeance this day on Saul, his descendants. But David replied to Rechab and his brother Baanah, sons of Rimmon the Beerothite, and said to them, as the Lord lives, who has redeemed my life from all distress, when the one who informed me, saying, behold, Saul is dead, also viewed himself as the bearer of good news? I seized him and killed him at Ziklag, which was the reward I gave him for his news. How much more when wicked men have killed a righteous man in his own house on his bed, shall I not now require his blood from your hands, and will eliminate both of you from the earth." Then David commanded the young men, and they killed them and cut off their hands and feet and hung them up beside the pool of Hebron. But they took the head of Ishbosheth and buried it in the grave of Abner in Hebron. Thank you for listening. I pray that the seed of God's word will be planted in your heart and will continue to grow.